Thanks for turning into Air Rescue. Today is going to be my follow-up video to the previous video I did about used home buyer beware. I did a little video talking about heating and air conditioning for the person that's purchasing a previously owned home. Today I'm going to take a look at a couple of different houses that have been roughed in or are somewhere between 60 and maybe 80% complete, but the AC rough-in is done. In the first house we're going to look at, I'm kind of looking at the system itself, the ductwork. The first actual install of the air conditioning equipment itself is actually pretty decent. But it is a zone system in both of these homes, which means you've got a pretty large house that's going to have multiple thermostats controlling one system with air dampers that are opening and closing, which means that single unit's going to be running a lot, trying to satisfy the various zones in the home for heating and cooling. You'll see people do that today because our homes are a little more energy efficient. The envelopes are tighter than what they used to be, to the point where they're actually having to pipe in outside air today, which causes a whole different set of concerns, which is a talk for another time in another place. But in the first home, I'm going to go over a lot of the ductwork, why you move into a home, go into your nice new master suite or your kid's bedroom and find out that you're hot or you're cold because you got bad airflow to some of those areas. The second house we're going to look at is more focused on the actual crappy install of the heating and air conditioning equipment itself. Both of these homes are by prominent home builders. These houses are probably easily 350 to 400,000 plus homes. They're not cheap homes and cheap neighborhoods, I guess is my point. For this area, that's a pretty pretty expensive home that you're looking at. So just be thinking, if you're a new home buyer, take some time. If you've already decided which home and it's under construction, go there after hours on weekends and take a look at what's going on as the air conditioning system and electrical and framing gets roughed in, and plumbing, and look at some things that might concern you, because chances are, if they're a little bit concerning to you now, they could be a problem for you somewhere down the road. Don't be afraid to talk to your builder about it. Don't be afraid to talk to your builder about why they've chosen to only put one air conditioning system in this big old house. So the squeaky wheel gets the grease sometimes. So just make sure that when you're buying a new house that you're getting your money's worth. As I've said many times before, foundations, roofs, and heating and air conditioning are some of the most expensive things that home buyers have to deal with after they purchase a new home. So enjoy the video. I apologize for the quality of I'm filming this on my iPhone and trying to explain everything, look at everything, and hold the camera at the same time. So I know the video quality is not great, but the content is good. So just bear with me and try to watch the video till the end, and please let us know if you have any questions. Bedroom, I'm going to guess 4 with multiple living areas, 2 stories. A lot of stuff going on in this house, and one of the things that we see pretty often today, and is absolutely the case in this home, is that this is a pretty good size house, and granted our energy efficiency is much better than what it used to be, but they're going to put one heating and cooling system in here to do this entire home. So again, this install doesn't look bad other than the maze of ductwork. One thing I will say, so this is a 1-inch filter frame. So we have this big house, all these bedrooms, all these rooms, all tied to a single unit with an absolute maze of ductwork, subplenums, because all of this equipment's in the second floor attic. You'll see all the zone dampers here, bypass damper here for the bypass duct, all this, but there's literally a maze of ductwork and subplenums in this house. All of this that you see here is being controlled by one unit. And again, the quality of the install in this house does not look bad as new home rough-ins goes, but here's a good example. Because of the way the home was built, these are ducts going down from the attic past the second floor down to the first floor, and you'll see this duct, for one, is pinched over here and bent. That adds the equivalent of tens upon tens upon tens of feet of duct to that because of that bend there. And then these additional splits all going down through the floor. This is a fresh air vent coming in, because these houses, these envelopes on these homes, you'll notice all of this ceiling and everything on here. Homes are so much tighter today than what they used to be that we don't get enough fresh air into the home. So now we're having to pipe fresh air into the home from the outside, which brings some additional challenges of taking hot, humid air from the outside and dumping it right into the air conditioning system. But that's a whole different conversation. So again, as we look around, this is certainly not the worst house I've seen for duct work, but here's some more example of the absolute maze, the bins of ducts coming down. Sorry, trying not to make everybody sick, but again, an example of the bins and the duct work. When you have a 90-degree unsupported bin like that, it just adds the equivalent of many, many feet of additional duct, which means the airflow coming out the other end is not going to be great. So again, you'll see over here where the ducts are squished into the corner and stuff over here. These are all going from the attic through the second floor down to the first. So here we are down on the first floor now, where the ducts are actually coming through. And you'll see again the bend and the squished duct coming through the floor from upstairs. And this one, they even cut through the floor joist with a hard bend and a squeeze there to get a duct over here in front of the front door. So it is just one of those things that, as a buyer buying a new home, you really need to be cognizant of what your home looks like. Check on your house when it's under construction and look at some of what they've done, because you get some master suites that are long ways away with long duct runs. Here's another subplenum in this house. I cannot believe the massive amount of duct work that is in this house that is all tied back to a single unit. This is the master suite we're in right now, and you can see how crazy the duct work has gotten between going through the floor joists and stuff in the home. The other thing I wanted to point out, you'll see this above the doorway. This is an upstairs bedroom right here. This is where they're putting in a passive return air duct. So they cut part of the header out because they know that they're going to need additional return air. And rather than putting return ducts up here in these bedrooms like they could have or probably should have, same thing happened over here on that bedroom. And again over here on this bedroom, they've decided to just cut through and put a grill on both sides above the bedroom door to let return air be pulled out of the bedroom through those passive return vents back to the system. So again, overall, as far from an install perspective, it wasn't horrible, the quality of the install, but again, big house, expensive house for all practical purposes, at least for our part of the world. Single system that's been zoned, which means you're going to have multiple thermostats, probably 2 in this particular situation, maybe 3. But the reality of it is that one air conditioner's got to run constantly, regardless of which one of the zones, which one of the thermostats is asking for heat or cool. So it's going to run a lot because of the size of this home. Now again, much more energy efficient home, better insulation, reflective ceiling panels, sealed from air, better windows. So, but in the end, in my opinion, and that and $5 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks, but in my opinion, this is one of those scenarios when they should have and could have put 2 heating and air conditioning units on this house for not that much more money, especially in the build-in and rough-in phase. But the builders are just sort of cheaping out, in my opinion, when it comes to the heating and air conditioning system. When you buy a $300,000 to $400,000 house, the last thing you want to be it's hot in the summer in your master bedroom at night when you're trying to sleep because the builder didn't want to spend an extra $5,000 or $6,000 on a $300,000 to $400,000 home. So anyway, overall, house doesn't look bad. You've got a chance to see some of the crazy ductwork and why you move into a home and then immediately have complaints about low airflow to areas of the home because of the way the ductwork is laid out. So next we're going to move on to a home that the install is much more of a travesty. So stand by for the next house. Okay, now we're in another house, about the same price range, about the same square footage. Air conditioning system's laid out a little bit differently, but again, it's another single unit zone system in a big house. Now this has got a little more of an open floor plan. As you can see the open stairwell here. But I want to take a look more this time at the air conditioning system itself. So in this house they've built, I'll go ahead and switch it around, a mechanical room, closet on the upstairs where the air conditioning system is. So as we go in here, you can tell what we've got here is what we would call an upflow system. And so it's been in the vertical position instead of the horizontal in the attic like the other one we saw. And the supply plenum, or the return plenum, is coming out of the side of the unit. And again, on this time, they were nice enough to put us in a 4-inch media filter instead of just the 1-inch like we saw on the other home. So must have been a different install crew, different set of equipment. But the biggest thing here is just the quality of the install. I mean, at face value, when you look around, you say, well, this doesn't look terrible. But this unit is sitting upright, and the unit itself is just sitting in a drain pan that is not even supported on the edges, as you can tell here. Sorry, my camera footage is a little bit questionable at times. And then that is sitting on top of some 2x4s that they stuck underneath here. So, you know, it's not ideal. The drain lines, no P-traps, no insulation, just straight pipe coming out of the unit. In our part of the world here, you have to reclaim condensate from the AC system back into the sewer. So the primary drain will always go to the sewer system. The secondary will go out the eave of the house. But these things have no P-traps, no anything on them at this point. This is a gas furnace. The gas is not hooked up yet. Here's the gas pipe coming up. But this is your air conditioning evaporator coil here. And look at this. The sheet metal is all bowed. And look at this thing move around when I push on it. You may be able to tell, you may not. It just wobbles back and forth. And because when they were putting this in, they couldn't even get it on there correctly. They're putting so much weight. They've bowed the doors and housing on the evaporator coil, and to make do, they just went ahead and just put some duct tape over the top of it. So just in general, I mean, the quality of this is just, you know, not good. Again, a crazy amount of duct work because this is a zone system. You'll see the bypass dampers and the zone controllers here, so you're going to have probably a 2 thermostat system controlling the whole house, where they probably could have used 2 units but chose not to. So this is some of what I'm talking about here. I mean, the flue for the furnace, okay, it's not crazy. The drain line's crap. The way the unit is mounted and set up, crap. The fact that they've got the evaporator coil all bent up and compensated by trying to throw some tape on it, crap. So these are the things, you know, if you're buying a new home, take some time after working on the weekends when the workers aren't around and just go take a look and see what's going on with your house. Because like I've said before, foundations, roofs, heating and AC systems are the things that's going to get you in trouble. And people think, well, I got a home warranty at least for the first year after I buy the house, so if I find anything wrong after I move in, they'll take care of it. Well, I'd like to tell you that was true, and sometimes that absolutely is the case, but it never comes easy, right? And it's always a little bit of a fight to try and get it all done. So again, not trying to scare anyone, just want everybody to have a chance to think about, you're spending a lot of money on these homes, and making sure that you've got, in our part of the world where it's so hot in the summer, making sure that you have an adequate heating and air conditioning system is paramount. At least in this particular home, they have actually placed both a return and a supply in some of the bedrooms. You don't see the passive return ducts above the doorways like we did in the other home. So they put a return in this one as well. So here's a big return over the open stairwell. So they did actually put some return air vents in. Oh, here's another one. So they actually put return air vents in, looks like most of the areas. Anyway, thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, 469-294-2616, or check us out on the web at www.airrescuehvac.com. Have a great day.